You've done it. You've finished building your starter base and you're ready to start looting and farming the area around you. The only problem is that when you go in your base, this is all you've got to process your resources. This old beat up clay furnace that requires wood to keep going. It's time to set up an electric furnace. And it's actually quite inexpensive. All you need is a solar panel, a small battery, a switch, and of course, the electric furnace itself. You can optionally add an electric branch to make it easier to add more components to your system later on. For the basic setup, that's 1 tech trash, 15 HQM, and 300 frags if you've got the blueprints for these 4 items. And for the extra branch, it's just an additional 75 metal frags. So let's get to the setup. First of all, I'm going to grab a little bit of wood here, and we're going to go outside and we are going to set up our solar panel. Now, obviously that's going to go on the top of our base. I could probably just use this rock to get up there, but I did want to show you guys if you can't use the rock, one simple method is just to create some sort of foundation and then give yourself a half wall, and you'll be able to jump on that half wall and then jump up to your ceiling, and you can just destroy that later on. So now we will grab our 1 solar panel. That's all we need for this setup. Oh, there's so much controversy on where to face your solar panels. You guys can read about it all you want. I'm going to face mine north. Judge me if you want. Now I do want to put it in this square because I'm going to show you something in here in a second. So we're going to face it as north as we can in this square here. And we'll set it there. Now, this will work just like this, but this is really going to attract a lot of attention. Such a small base and it's got electricity. What's going on here? One way to avoid some of that, if you're not going to build this base any higher, is to put just a low wall, or you could even try a half wall, but that might block the sun quite a bit. But even just a low wall, just around the sides, to the average passerby, there's nothing else up there. It's just a base. But there's a solar panel. Now, in order to get this solar panel set up, we need to set up our battery. So we'll just go ahead and we'll take our battery. And we are going to be moving a few things around here. We're going to get rid of this old clunky furnace here. So we'll get that out of here. And our battery can go really wherever we'd like. It's very small, so you can even just set it right here. Okay. And now we're just going to connect our solar panel to our battery. All right, now on our roof, we'll just take our wire tool. Oh, I did forget to include that in the ingredients list. That will cost you, I believe it's 2 HQM. So you'll need that. So we'll just connect it here. If I remember where my battery is, I believe it is essentially right here. So let's just put it in this corner right here to keep our wires hidden enough. Go back in here. And we see it's that corner right there. So we can just bring it down to the floor, right behind the battery, and we'll power into our battery. Now out of the battery, we're going to connect it to a switch. Now, if you want to use the electrical branch, we would put that before the switch. So let me just put that on the wall, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But for the really basic setup, all we need is this switch. And I'm actually going to put it over here somewhere. This is where our furnace, we'll just put it here. The switch here for the furnace. Now, we're going to place our electric furnace. You just place it as far over as you can. That's pretty good. Now we have our furnace. We'll just plug it into the battery. And we'll bring this up our wall and keep our wires nice and clean here as well. And we are going to plug this into our switch, and we want it to go into the power outside. So we'll just put it in right there. And then to power the switch, we need it to come from the battery. So we can just go out of the battery, keep our wires as clean as possible. And we're going to put the battery out, power out, into the power in of the switch. And now you'll notice, if we flip that switch, bada bing, bada boom, we now have an electric furnace to process materials without costing us any wood or any fuel, just the power of the sun. Now, if you wanted to use the electrical branch that we put in here, what we would do is before we go into this switch from the battery, we would plug it into the branch. So we'll go to the power output and we'll hold right click to clear it. And now we'll bring that power output and we'll do our best to hide the wires again, and we're going to connect it to the power in of the electrical branch. Okay, And now we need to hit E on the electrical branch to configure how much power we want to send out. And we want to send out enough to run our one furnace. If you ever forget how much power, you can just go to the crafting menu and find the recipe, and it will tell you the power usage. So it's 3 power usage for the furnace. So we're going to configure this branch and set it to 3 and click set. And now we will just go to the branch out part of this electrical branch. Again, I'm just going to try and keep my wires pretty clean, kind of going along the paths that we've already been going along. We're going to bring that into the switch. And now power into the switch from our branch. We turn it on. Oops, that was already on. It's on, so the switch works. But now we could go to this power out of this branch and we could power something else, or we could add another electrical branch and just go from the power out of the first branch to the power in of the second branch and use that second branch to power something else. However, you now have an electric furnace in this small little base. Nobody will even ever know unless they get a really good angle on you and get to see those solar panels. But as you can see, those low walls do a pretty good job of hiding it. So there you have it. I hope that helps you. If you guys are interested in more simple builds or doing electrical and industrial stuff, let me know in the comments section what you'd like to see. I'd love to give you all a tutorial on how to use conveyors to fill your TC so you don't have to log on every day and fill it up, and you can just have some storage boxes automatically fill it for you, even through a window like this. So yeah, I could put a glass window on here and I would not be able to access my own TC until I take it off, but it would just fill up from this chest right here. So let me know if you want to see that video. Again, I hope you all found this helpful. I'm Stackrunner, and thanks for watching.